Hello. Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day. Now let's see what we have. I have my face. That works fine. Let's get into this. Okay. So, we've done so many things. Adding more spawn points. Did it. Works like a charm. Okay, spawners are randomly placed. So I could actually tick this one off as well. My to-do is a little bit confusing, but anyway. Okay, so realistically I just need to finish these menus. And then I did encounter some more bugs. So yesterday I made a build of the game. And I took it to my cousins, nephews, not cousins. They're quite a bit younger than I am, but still, they are cousins, I think. And they played the game, and both of them broke the game immediately. So apparently, there's something wrong with the player stats. Or player/character stats are not being reset on loading scene. So I think the problem here is, so let's just get our time tracker going. General bug, UI stuff. I hope to do more UI stuff today, so I'm just going to start. Let's stop this. If it says there's a page edited, okay. I didn't forget to stop it yesterday. Good. Yeah. So what I'm thinking is happening is, well, I read about it a little bit, right? And it turns out that certain things do not get reset or when the game when the game reloads a scene, right? So these things are static objects, apparently, and I think scriptable objects as well. Well, it's not really that clear whether or not they will be reset or not. So you need to manually reset them. Okay, so let's see something. Okay, we have scene management, load scene. Okay. So what I'm thinking is that somehow, somewhere, I should be able to go and reset these things. Let's close all tabs over here. And let's open the player manager and see what's happening. So these stats need to be reset. And when I start the game, I think I do reset the stats. So let's see, here's all my stat stuff, and there's this reset character stats. It has 3 references. Okay, we run it over here. You see, this is a mono behavior, so I would think the character stats are reset every single time we reload the game, because this is mono behavior. This is not a singleton or anything weird. So everything you do start, this should have been it recreates this script and it runs this. Right? So reset character stats happens. And I do believe we are resetting everything. Character level is equal to start character level, so that's fine. Yeah, progress, damage, all this stuff gets reset. Is dead is false as well. Now that's very strange. Where do we set these? So that's also in the managers. So right here. Okay, so we take damage, and then at some point yeah, that's very strange. Because okay, so one of the things that was happening primarily was the characters weren't dying. They would just kind of live forever. And I think it's got something to do with them. So this should have worked, right? Because he was still taking damage in some ways. So he got hit, and I saw the damage pop up, but the damage wasn't being applied. And this thing should basically just say, oh, you greater than 0 health, take the damage. If you are 0 health and you are not dead already, then die. How is that not foolproof? Doesn't make any sense. Okay, let's see if I can recreate it in within Unity. Yeah, because obviously it was a build, and I couldn't really. I don't know what I have access to with builds in terms of debugging. I probably do have a console, right? But I have no idea how to. Yeah, I haven't really played with it, so. Let me just check if I'm unmuted and all those good things. I'm so paranoid sometimes. Yeah. I also maybe need to just restart Unity. Okay, so let's see. So night stats reset was run. And this is also happening. The owl, for some reason, started at level 1. Yeah, here also, level progress 1. Okay, we don't need all the music playing. Okay, so let's see if we can select a character. So at least I got the totem indicator stuff to work, so all that's good. I'm gonna die the good old-fashioned way. By frog bombing. Okay, so the Robin dies. Now if I click restart instead, that just works. Okay, if I go to main menu, new game, night stats reset happens every single time. Okay, let me check the build. Okay, where did I build this? think it was, yeah, C Unity. I don't know if there's anything that helps with so let's see if I can make it happen now. Let's play the game. Okay, so new game. Okay, so we already have a problem there. Current level's 1 for some reason. Okay, let's restart. Now it's 0. Very interesting. So the first start of the game doesn't actually reset that. But restarting the game does reset that. That's weird. Okay, but anyway, let's just take the chicken and do some things. Okay, so let's see what happens if I go to the main menu now and I click new game. Okay, so that definitely didn't reset anything. Right. Gavarian, good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening. I mean, it looks... I'm getting there. I made a build yesterday, but I have a problem with... I think the word is persistence. So some of the scripts, and I think it's static stuff, and maybe scriptable objects as well, they seem to be not resetting or whatever when I change scenes. Then that kind of breaks the game. So for instance, if I go to main menu, new game, now it did reset the skill points, right? Okay, but if I just play again, and I gain some levels, I kill some frogs and stuff. And my cousins were I gave them the game yesterday just to play a bit, and they were actually able to break it so badly that the characters couldn't die anymore, which I have no idea how that happened. Okay, so they do persist between scenes. Yeah, okay, I read that somewhere. What about scriptable objects? Are they behaving in the same way? Do I understand that correctly as well? Or scriptable objects weird? Okay, so skill points. So let's see. If I select damage now, and I go to the main menu, click new game, it didn't reset anything here. Still level 3, all the progress is still here. Oh, so scriptable. Okay, so those things I need to reset manually whenever I change a scene, right? Okay. Let's see if I... Oh, wait. I want to die. Yes, I want to die, but this is so loud. Let's do that, so that you guys at least don't have to hear this. Okay, I was able to recreate the problem. Yeah, so it seems like if you restart the game or just go to the main menu and come back, all of a sudden the scripts killing the characters don't work. Which is very interesting. And this is something... Okay. Go to main menu, new game. She's still dead. So her health hasn't reset. Everything else did, because her damage was 19. And the level is still level 1 with 2 experience. If I select her again, that health is updated. Okay, I think her health was updated now. Yeah. Health got updated that time. That's some weird behavior, and the problem I'm having with it is, I can't get it to happen again in Unity, which is kind of annoying. I thought that my usage of the scriptable objects were not correct. So what you're saying is I can have... So here's how I use the scriptable objects currently. So let's just look at one of them for the characters. So I store all the start values, like levels and stuff like that, for the character. So this might be good enough. This might be good for scriptable objects, like how much health does the chicken or the ranger start with? What is the base attack speed, etc., etc. But then I also store all the current values for those things. And if you actually open the script, I have a lot of interesting things that I do here to check when those things change. So, for instance, I have this whole thing here to check how they die and when they are dead, etc., etc. So it's currently happening. I think this is breaking. So if is dead, so if they are not dead, then we change the character health to the new value. And then we invoke a stat change. Else if... Alright, this is my respawn counter for the character, yeah. So what I'm assuming is happening is they die. So technically this is true. They are dead, which means their health doesn't update. Okay, so that happened. But then I'm assuming I'm also not checking that correctly. It's kind of weird. Yeah, so death. I think I see now. So if you die and you restart, the thing that received this event, the signal from this event, it resets because it's a monobehavior script somewhere. But this thing didn't reset, so technically you are still dead, but nothing else knows about it because I reloaded the scene. That makes sense. So the whole game can progress as normal, but your character just cannot take any more damage because over here, damage is only applied if you are not dead. And then over here, this thing does get reset. And every time you get hit, so let's see if this makes any sense. So if you get hit, because this still works, you can still get hit. It checks whether or not your health is greater than 0. Okay. I see the problem. Is there a reason I can't apply that? Probably not. Well, here's the reason, right? So I check if my health is greater than 0. If it is, just apply damage. Else, if I am not dead, make me dead. But now it comes here, it's like, oh, my health is 0 or less than 0. It's -2, so we don't apply more damage. And then we also go over here and we're like, oh, but we are already dead, so we don't need to set there to true. So none of the background resetting stuff works. So the only thing that I don't understand, right? So this is what doesn't make sense to me. I see now where it gets broken. That makes sense. But here, this is a mono behavior. I have the night stats, and I do this for every character. So there's the night stats script or scriptable objects connected to this. And I run on start, because this thing would be destroyed and recreated every time you reload the scene, right? So on start, I run night stats reset character stats. And the reset character stats over here should reset everything. Like all the stats I want to change back to the starting stats, it should change. But I'm thinking now this might be a problem. So what if I just do is dead equals to false instead? So that could help with the dead stuff at least. But then it also doesn't like... It doesn't change the level stuff, character level progress. Those things are still the same. I think I also just want to change the character level progress instead. Oh yeah, you're probably right. I think this is probably... Yeah, so... Yes. So the UI is loading first. That makes sense. Well, why does this not... Oh yes, I know now why it didn't work. No, wait. This is for UIs. I'm not entirely sure why this doesn't reset though. But you might be right. I maybe should never have built this character stats scriptable object the way I did. It's good enough to store the base values and other, you know, things that I just want easy access to, a lot of data like this in my inspector that I can quickly change in here. but I should attach maybe a separate script to each character. Call it just stats or something. Get the original stats from the scriptable object every time, and then apply them to all the fields within the MonoBehavior script. Probably. What I did like about the whole scriptable object thing is the fact that, I just have one script over here, and then I create multiple scriptable objects from that one script, and it keeps all the behavior that I want. I don't know. I'm still a little bit of a noob, so I don't really know what architecture, like, should you design with scriptable objects? Are there better way or worse ways to design with scriptable objects? Because I've heard scriptable objects are this thing and they're nice, and I tried using them in the game, and I might have just made things worse for myself. Create copies of the scriptable object. So let's say over here, I plug them in, right, to my player manager, for instance. So I'd create new scriptable objects that are copies of these, and then use those instead. Well, this is now a static instance, so this is a singleton, which means this thing also doesn't get reset so another thing here will get reset. This thing persists, my player manager. So let's say, for argument's sake, we do something like the game manager isn't persisting? What do you mean? Oh, jeez. The game manager... Okay, this is my game manager. So you're saying that since it's technically still MonoBehavior, even though it's singleton, it doesn't persist. Oh. So this thing over here would make it reset itself every time. Okay. So all the singletons won't persist. Okay. Okay, but if I made a new script and called it... Why did I put this here? Using static player manager. I don't remember doing that. So, but if I, for instance, said public static game manager, then that would then definitely be, and I don't do any of this nonsense, that would be a class that persists. I believe I understand that correctly. Why did this come in here. Oh. I don't know that happened every time I did that. This one doesn't do that. Huh. Well, yeah, I guess there's still a lot about C# I need to learn. That might be my biggest problem at the moment. I just don't know how things... I don't know how things work really entirely. You know, I have just enough knowledge to be dangerous. And then I have bugs. So let's see. If I make this, for instance, an SO. So I'm changing that there. And you're saying that I could now do something like... make a character, so character stats SO, and I call this night stats. Okay, and I'd make it a new... Okay, so this won't work, because then it will just be a blank one. But what if I make it a new... this thing? A night stats SO. Does that work? No. Or do I just do this instead? So I make a character stats SO, call it night stats, and I make it equal to night stats SO. And then all throughout my code going further, I'm actually editing this thing. Okay, wait. Maybe you are... Or do I do a new... a new character stats SO, and then I say night stats equals night stats SO, something like that. So I create a new character stats SO, call it night stats. Okay, and then I set it equal to the existing one. And then I continue to work with this one throughout the code. Ooh, you mean I need to go through something like this? Night stats dot character health equals night stats SO dot character health. I need to go through every single... What does this thing mean now? There's an easy way. And also, why are these broken now? Didn't they get a new... Well, I suppose they don't know this thing. Oh, this is only in start. That's my problem. I should create the new one over here. And then I can do assignments later, and this thing knows about it now. Yeah, okay. Okay. So hear me out. Creating copies of them seems quite miserable. Reason being, I I plugged in. So this is just one of the scripts where I had to plug in the character stats scriptable objects. I did this throughout all my code in various places. So, and I don't even know all the places I plugged this in, to be honest with you. So I would have to go through everything and look for every single place I plugged stuff in, and I would have to find a way around using the original scriptable objects. Maybe one day I'll have to bite the bullet and change this to not use scriptable objects in this way. But I'll be honest, it's kind of daunting right now. I guess I could go like here and check, for instance, here in all the references. So there's 29 references. So that means I should be able to see where I plug this thing in, right? So the progression manager, that's the big place I plugged it in, I think. Scriptable object dot instantiate. Good day, Cowboy Bob. I'll just default to good day now, because people are in weird time zones. Yeah, so let's see. So in the progression manager and then the night character manager, these things are used quite a bit. Then in the player manager, they're used 12 times. And then in each of the 3 character managers. That's not so bad, to be honest. Okay, let's see if I understand what this... Okay, so if I make that scriptable object SO, and I do still have to do this, right? Like a private, public still, I guess, character. And then call this night stats. And I need to just at least have that there, so it's in the same, still exists within the namespace. I'm probably breaking something now. Okay, so I'm not entirely sure what Kavarian is saying. So let's see if I can figure this out. So if I do night stats, night stats, or do I do this? Scriptable let me copy your code. Let's see if I can make this work. Equals. Instantiate. What does your SO mean? Is that night stats SO? Well, I don't see any errors. So does that mean that, okay, so night stats SO that I plug in into my, so this would automatically copy all the information from night stats SO into night stats, which is now a new scriptable object that currently lives somewhere in the code, but it's referenced into Player Manager, so the Player Manager knows about it. Okay. So all of the functionality in Player Manager works now with a new scriptable object. Okay. I like that. So technically, I could actually make this thing a serialized field private instead, right? That would be better. So basically, my original scriptable object that I manipulate in the editor, I plug it in here, but I make it private so that I can't mess with it from other places, for instance. And then I can mess with, since this is a singleton, I can mess with this thing from any other place within my script, referencing the Player Manager instance first. I like that. I like that. Okay, so let's see who else references this, and then I need to change the way they reference it. Okay. So if I just go here, I should be able to see. So Player Manager, that one's sorted now. Character stats. Oh yeah, it references itself. That's fine. Progression Manager is the big one. So let's go to the Progression Manager. Hello? Why is this not happening for me? Okay, here we go. Yeah, so in the Progression Manager, I plugged in the character stats SO directly. So what I could do here is I could make this private, character stats SO, character stats, and then on start, it would be kind of amazing if this just works now. On start, I could do, night stats is just equal to player. Oh my greatness! Where's my Player Manager dot instance dot night stats. So instead of plugging this in from the inspector, I just give it a name, declare it, or whatever that means, whatever I'm doing there, and then at start, I pull it in from the Player Manager. So now I have the reference, and now this is the new one that exists inside of the Player Manager. So the only thing that might go wrong here, I can imagine, is that the start functions, who knows which one runs first. So it's very possible that this thing doesn't, runs before this one. So what did that do? It'll still create the reference, right? It'll still know what it's talking about, even though this one hasn't been instantiated yet, right? It should still work. Because the instantiation is not important. We are just connecting them, so to speak, so that they know to speak to one another. I'm going to go with that's exactly what's happening. I've got it exactly right. Okay, let's... so what I could do... So the Player Manager should then be the only thing that has direct access to the stats scriptable objects. So let's do this. Let's make both of these privates and rename them just a little bit. I'm hearing sound effects. Knives of Iraq. Thank you for the follow. Yeah, that's a good idea. You know what my general rule was? My general rule was, try it first and start. If that doesn't work, you probably should have put it in awake. If there's weird behavior, try it in awake. That's a terrible rule, but yeah. Yeah, so it would definitely be better to do this here, right? To instantiate these things in awake, so that it's always done before any other class tries to access it. Yeah, because the other classes are going to try and access this, right? Before it's instantiated. They might not, right? That's the problem with start and doing everything in start. They could access it before it's instantiated, or they might not. You know, who knows? And it will change every single time you load the game. Okay, so we have this now working. So now we just need this. And this would now be Ranger stats. And this one would be Wizard stats, right? So we now have our private serialized field stuff that I can drag into from outside. And then I have my Ranger and Wizard stats stuff. Okay, cool. And then I can instantiate them right here. Right, so this would be Ranger stats. This would be Wizard stats. Ranger, Wizard, but these are now SO. So now they are instantiated, they knew, they exist separately. Everything is good. And since I instantiate them on awake, and since this thing technically should reload every time, this should be fine now. Okay, so let's go to the progression manager and let's access. So I made the first one private. Let's make the others private as well. And then we access them in this way. But they're not all knight stats. So we have Ranger stats and we have Wizard stats. Okay, so now the Knight, Ranger, and Wizard stats from this thing connects through to the player manager, and that's good. Everything works fine there. I think, I believe, I hope. Okay, so let's see, where else was this referenced? So progression manager was a big one, and I think that should now be fine. Player manager, that's where I started this whole thing. It references itself, so that's all fine. I think the other one is these character managers. I honestly don't even know. And this is one of those things where I had a thought. My thought was, eventually I should actually build out managers for each character separately, but I did a few things and I never really did more than that, so... Okay, but this one is kind of interesting. So, this reset character stats... Let me think. We shouldn't have to call that anymore. Because we're creating a scriptable object that's new, which means the character stats would be God anyway. So I could actually just delete these 2 lines and just connect this thing. So we do a private here one as well. And then we do night stats, not new night stats, equals player manager dot instance dot night stats. Right, so I just connected to the player manager. The player manager instantiated a new night stats scriptable object. So that thing would have all the correct values from the start. Okay, cool. I like this. Okay, there's probably some other places I'm forgetting about, if I'm honest. Okay, so this we want to do now for the other character managers that also do almost nothing except for applied damage, apparently. Yeah, okay, so Ranger, you don't have to reset your stats anymore. That's pointless. And this is private now. Well, you know. Private. And equals player manager instance Ranger stats. Hey, look, Unity is learning. It's figuring out what I want to do. Fantastic. Okay, so over here, we also don't reset the wizard stats. We make it private, so we don't mess with it from here. All of them are referenced back to equals player manager dot instance dot wizard stats. Okay, so now I'm thinking if I look at this character scriptable object thing, all this behavior should work as well, right? So it should work the same way. So let's think about this. Okay, so reset character stats needs to be run at some point, or I need to change the way I influence my starting health, etc. So I need to run this at least once, just so, for instance, it sets the character level to the start character level. Because these values, I manipulate them. But now that I think about it, I don't need to do that anymore. But I manipulate them in the editor. So I might come here. Oh, geez, this thing's going to reload the crap out of this game now. I need to... oh yeah, this is a bit confusing now, isn't it? So it's public, which means I can see it here, but I can also see the... Yeah, this is weird. Okay, but I'm going to delete the other ones, I guess. Yeah, so this, I don't actually want it there. But okay, so what I might do is I might come here and be like, okay, the wizard, at start, you are kind of terrible, so we tweak these values. Oh, is there a thing like that? Hide in inspector. Okay, that's great. I'll do that. Okay, but okay, so yeah, I can hide the other ones, which would make this better. So, but I know at least, because I remember, I need to put it in the scriptable object things, like that. That should work, but I'll hide them as well. So now I'm thinking that, you know, the way I'm running these scriptable objects, I change the start, health, and all these things, which means that when the game starts, I ran the function to reset everything to whatever these values are. But technically, in the editor, I could just change these values. They will technically persist, and I'll just create copies of them and then mess with them. I believe I understand that correctly. So these start values are completely pointless at this stage. So let's see if I understand that correctly. Okay, wait. Before we go any further, no, we could maybe we can try this. Okay, so let's take the knight, and let's make the movement speed, 32, because why not? And if I play the game now, this number is not going to change, but the number that's displayed on the UI should be now the 32. Right. Unless this, I didn't consider the UI, and I should have done a few more things to make sure the UI gets the right values. No, I don't think the UI is plugged into any scriptable objects. Yeah, okay. So I'm super fast. And I still have music running. Okay, so the knight will be super quick. Ah, geez, he doesn't even understand what's happening. Don't worry, guy. We should cap these stats, eh? Okay. So that's fine. And now technically, normally when I go here and I changed something, it'll affect the knight directly. Like for instance, if I change the health, I would see it update there. Oh, and actually, yeah, this character health is now decoupled from that. So the stuff you're seeing in the inspector is the one that's the original one. We just have a copy. Okay, now if I go to main menu, click new game, these things will now reset to these things, which I was fiddling with in the inspector because I made a new copy. And the new copy had, well, now made a copy of the stuff I changed. Oh, this is fantastic, actually. Because that means now when I end the game, it's not like these stats go anywhere. They're still there. And I can do balance so much faster. So I can delete all of these things. They're pointless now. They just take up space, making everything more complicated than it needs to be. I should also hide a few things here from... Yeah, I like the hide and inspector idea. I think I'm just going to put that everywhere now. Let me go put that everywhere. So I'm assuming hide and inspector works the same way as serialized field, right? Something like hide in inspector. Yes. Let's copy this and let's go put it everywhere in my code. So I want to hide this. I want to hide this. Okay, so those things I want to hide. They should still be public, but I don't want to mess with them in the inspector. Then for our character stats, this reset stats doesn't mean anything because technically I do that when I instantiate a new thing. All of this is pointless. And the start values are completely pointless. I never use them in any of my code. I only use them here and in the inspector. So, delete. Apparently, I do use one of them somewhere. The character cooldown, apparently I use that. The attack cooldown. Which is kind of weird. I use this for some calculation somewhere. Okay, let's leave it there. Okay, let's see if we can't change. Okay, so character level, we can leave that. XP needed for level up. That's fine. Why does this have a serialized field? I don't need to see that. Character level progress. Not required. Private. Character level progress. This thing, I could hide that in Inspector as well. Wait, does this work? If I put it above this, will it know to hide this? Or do I need to put it here? Apparently it doesn't like what I'm doing. Okay, but anyway, yeah, I don't actually want to see the character level progress. That's not an interesting number at all. Character damage, that's important. Movement speed, that's important. Attack speed, that's important. Did I? When did I delete that part? Was that one of these things? Where is this actually? Respawn counter max. Oh, there we go. Okay, maybe I should go through these. Okay, start level. That doesn't make any sense to have. Level progress, damage, movement speed, attack speed, health. These we can get rid of. And then needed. That doesn't make sense. And then all these don't make sense. Yeah. I have massive blocks of code in some of my scripts that have been commented out. I'm too afraid to delete it. It's a superstition. But that's okay. I'll probably never delete that code. It'll just live there. Doesn't affect performance, does it? I don't think so. Maybe the size of the file is a bit bigger than it needs to be. Okay. Okay, so this thing, character level progress is a hide in inspector type of thing. This just needs to be a serialized field. So I just want to clean up the inspector basically. Damage, movement speed, attack speed, that can be in the inspector. Character health, so the real character health value. Actually, I have no idea which one should be in the inspector. This is technically a property, right? This is not a... Oh yeah, actually, now that I think about it, that also means this is a property. Do I even see this in the inspector, even though it's public? I don't think I do, honestly. Okay, but let's say character health, we want to see that. Max character health, we want to see that as well. Yeah, I could change that. Stats at start of the wave. These I don't want to see at all. These I just use to make sure they are temporary fields where I save things. So that you can't reduce your health when you're assigning skill points to less than it started at. Yeah. Character level at start of wave. That's also one of those. Skill points. Don't want to see that. Max skill points. Don't want to see that. That just makes everything cluttered. Okay. Okay, this is just an event. Okay, private pool is dead. So we can't see whether or not the character is dead or not. Public end respawn wave counter. Let's keep that one. I might want to change that. I don't think I'm gonna change that. No. This one I don't change. This is this one respawn wave counter max. I do change. Yeah. These are functions. I mean, it's not the cleanest code. What did I just do? But it's cleaner. Let's see how this looks. I need to restart Unity. I've noticed when it gets super slow like this, quick restart makes everything nice again. Now that's sad. I don't have any coffee. All I want to see is if my stuff looks nicer here. How do I stay frothy with no coffee? Just have to wait. My wife normally brings me coffee sometime around maybe in the next 20 minutes or so. When she wakes up. Just like this thing is thinking hard about updating what I just did. Wow. Ah, look how nice. Okay, so the player manager is nice and cleanly now. Maybe not entirely. I mean, I could probably fix some more things there, but let's look at our scriptable objects. Oh, that's so nice. That's so nice. Look how nice that is. Holy moly. Okay. So what we just need to do is make sure this is correct. Yeah, let's just make everything correct, actually. Character level, XP needed for level up. I don't think that does anything, actually. Anyway, damage, speed. 9? I think that's what it was. Attack speed 1, 500. Cooldown. Yeah, that's fine. Ranger, I think you are still okay. I didn't mess with you. Not that I remember. Yeah. 350. There we go. Actually, could you put a start function on a scriptable object? You probably can, eh? So then when they are instantiated, they should run a bit of code. You cannot. Ah, damn it. That's just terrible. Oh, okay, it's a mono behavior thing. Okay. I understand. I'm sad, but I understand. Okay, I should maybe make a build and see if I can still break it in the same way. Because I noticed that certain bugs do not appear in Unity itself, and then as soon as you make a build, it just, your project overflows with bugs. Okay, let's see. So this looks fine. Forgot about the music. I mean, I don't have anything against the music. It's just I already have music playing. Okie dokie. Why is this happening though? Current level equals 1. Wizard, why are you level 1? You must be 0. So I changed it there. Now I need to restart this, right? There we go. Okay, now restarting it. I obviously restarted the music as well. Okay, but now his level is correct. Now it's also bugging me. Let's see. I think everything is good. Attack speed 5. What the hell is this wizard on? Jeez, like it. Your attack speed must be like. I think I made it 2 actually. Okay. Movement speed. I think I made it 7.5 for the wizard, just a little bit faster. So let's see. So I could go to main menu. Oh, jeez. Okay, you know what? The music's not going to go away. Let me just pause the other music. Okay, so if I click new game now. 7.5 attack speed. 2. Yeah, smells like swamp. Take that. Also need to go figure out why he does that double shot. One of the oldest bugs in the game. There we go. I ain't afraid of no swamp. I actually wanted to give him more damage. Make him feel nice. Okay. So unfortunately, since I'm already playing the game, that doesn't update anything. But anyway. Let's go after the... this one might be closer. I should do the whole color change thing on distance or something for these arrows. Yeah, because you might not realize that, you know, this one is right around the corner while the other one is on the other side of the map. And you run to the other side of the map first, right? Which feels bad. Oh my greatness. Run, run, run. Whoopsie. I should probably not just play the game. If I wanted to play the game, I should do it in a build so that I can check if the other bugs are gone. Okay, so if I click main menu from here and I do new game again, everything resets the way it should. My wizard's now a little bit more buff. And, okay. So in Unity, everything works. And, okay, I can't quit the game from here, though. Don't know why I tried that. Yes, what are these? Wizard attack triggers, true, false. Okay, maybe I should go take care of these debug messages. Comment them out. I can't delete them, obviously, right? Although I would like to... Oh, geez, this is still the old way of doing attack triggers, which was bad. Oh well. Yeah, these were quite bad. Anyway, it's okay. It's okay for now. kind of works. It is a bit buggy. I'll fix it eventually. Okay, so geez, and that small change is going to take now 2 minutes to do its thing. You know what I actually noticed? I think this recompiling stuff that it does is actually taking longer than just building out the game now. So let's build the game, and then restart Unity, I think. So build profiles. Bold. Where do we want to bold you? Oh, I need to create a folder first. Here's another question, right? So currently, you'll notice that the project name is Chicken Eye 3D, right? Because I didn't know what the name would have been when I started this, but we got a name now. But every time I export this, or I build this thing, obviously, it gives it a Chicken Eye 3D that is as the name. Is there a clever way of changing this, or do I need to go into like the Unity Hub and rename it here or something? Can you even do that? Okay, cool. That built super quickly. I think it is building faster than it is actually loading. Okay, let's save and close Unity. Maybe even VS Code. Unity is busy. Hold on. There we go. Oops. Okay. Aviorum. Let's go. Don't forget about the tower, right? The tower will look better eventually, and that's the first iteration of the tower. Anyway. Okay. So, smells like swamp. Let's get our wizard on. Okay, nice. It's somewhere close by swamp. Okay, we did it. Okay, is a little dry, expecting more blizzards than usual. Okay, so let's select chicken. I'll die eventually, but first let me play the game. This thing is like only spawning lizards, which I don't mind. They are very easy to kill. Okay, fortunately the other totem is right here as well. I should really change the way these things just disappear, right? Let's see, what are you saying here? You can separate scripts into namespace groups to make the compilation faster. Oh. So what you're telling me is I should go research what namespace groups are. I've seen them before, though. I have a slight idea. Sort of. But, you see, that's now... Gavarian also has the same problem I have. Okay, let's get some attack speed going here. I should try and die, actually. So let's die with the Robin. I will not go down to the frogs. I will go down to the frogs, apparently. Okay, so I've died. Now, if I go to main menu, restart the game, everything restarts and works the way it does. Okay, no, wait, that's not how it usually happens. So when you did that, after dying, and I play again, the character becomes impossible to kill. Okay, bear with me. I'm gonna have to stand here and let 1,000 little lizards hit me. Come on, guys, do 200 damage. You can do it, I believe. That's not annoying at all. Some of them get a bit stuck, it seems. Okay, no, I do die. Okay, fantastic, fantastic. I'm so happy. Okay, let me load the project again. That's not reassuring. Why is it saying I modified it 4 days ago? I hope that's just UI glitch. How would I even know? Let's look. Yeah. Everything looks fine. Okay, fantastic. Let's get the music back in here. Okay, what do we have to do now? Switch off the gizmos. That's it. There we go. Okay, so I think what I want to do now, perhaps, is some UI stuff, right? So I did add here my streaming to-do list. I did say I want to fix this bug. I think it's fixed now. Thank you so much for helping me with this bug fix. I think it's pretty rock solid now, right? This is never going to happen again. And I learned some better practices for using scriptable objects, at least. Okay, I want to make a pause menu, which can make you restart, return to main menu, or have settings. Settings are a... Vice Gaming TV. You mean this extremely wide screen that I'm on right now? My poor eyes at 4 a.m. in the morning. This is Notion. This is Notion. Yeah. Notion, yes. You got it. You can do cool things, like I built this time tracker, which is very nice, to track all the time we spend on the game. Actually, how much time have we spent? Let's see. That's if we still use this thing regularly. Now, obviously, this is not 100% because, you know... Well, we started a little bit later. Settings, music volume. Yes, that's the first setting I'm gonna do. Notion is free. Yes, all of this stuff I did it for free. They have there's like a big store. I don't know how they make money. I think it's from that. So people make templates like this one where you can, do timekeeping or whatever. I made this one myself, but you get people that sell them as well. And they sell them on the Notion store and they take a cut. So I think they make money that way. And you can also subscribe or pay monthly to get more more storage or something. I don't know. But yeah, it's free and I use it for free. And I have, I think, all the functionality you can have. Let's see quickly. No, not that one. Time by project. The YouTube stuff. No, I don't really worry about that. 15,300 minutes. Okay, I can't do that math in my head. What is that in hours? Calculator. 15,600. No. 300 over 60. I say one thing, my 255 hours spent now. It might be closer to 300. Might be closer to 350 actually. Because I didn't start tracking for a while. I think like the first thing I tracked was making the Ranger. And by that time I had the lizard working, I had the chicken working. Alright, so those two things were done. But then the Ranger came, then the frog, then the wizard, then the crocodile boss. So 350 hours, I would say, is a reasonable guess as to how much time we've spent on this project. Let's see, by person. What? This is an absolute... This is a lie. There's no way my wife is still ahead of me. 10,000 versus 6,000. No way. This is fake news. I don't believe this at all. Okay, but anyway, let's continue with the UI stuff. So our to-do list. Pause menu, end game menu. I think I've got to work on the end game menu first because I kind of like that. So what I've done, and I haven't used this at all, I have an enemy counter script. No, I am using it actually. Yeah, no, I am. But in this thing, I keep track of how many enemies have spawned and how many have been killed. And how many are remaining. Obviously, now currently, all I'm really doing is checking the amount remaining. And when there's 0 remaining, I end the wave, right? But this kill count, for instance, could be quite interesting for people to see at the end of the game. It's like a score of some kind. You think it's a ton of hours? I don't know. I've heard of people who spend thousands of hours working on their games. Like 300 hours isn't nothing, but still. I think I'm still have a few hundred in me, right? Okay, so when the end game screen pops up, I want to see the kill counts. I think that'll be cool. How many totems have you killed? And technically, how many totems you destroyed, and how many lizards, frogs, and crocodiles you killed. Now, currently, I think you should only be able to kill one crocodile because it only spawns once. Okay, so let's see. I think... Okay, that's fine. So, but basically what I have to do first is just go make the UI. Okay, canvas, let's go. Canvas 2D. Let's hide my character select UI, right? I don't need to see that right now. And the game playing UI, that's also not required. And let's create a new... Ah, geez, where did I create? I created that inside that one. Oh. Create empty. And this would be end game over UI. Okay. I don't think it needs anything like that. Yeah. So within this, we create a UI panel. I think that's the first thing you always make. And it's going to be the background. So we call it the background. All right. And the background will be... You know what? I think I already have a background. Let's just copy this. Right, copy component. Paste component values. Okay, what else do I need? Oh, I need the size for the background. So let's copy this. Wait, I can't copy component? Okay, copy component. And we paste the component values. Boom! Okay, there we got our rectangle. You think so? You really believe that I could do all this work again in less than 40 hours? I have my doubts, I'll tell you that. Also, you must remember that a lot of those hours are my wife, and she does the character art, so she models all the characters. And sure, you can be faster with that, but I would argue that just being better with that is probably more valuable. So I might be faster with the code. She might still take the same amount of time because she's going to just be better at it. So make better art instead. But she'll be able to make, I think, the same quality stuff maybe way faster. Yeah, that's true. But art is a funny way of just inflating, right? Where you're never quite satisfied. It's like, yeah, this looks nice, but it could look even nicer. Yeah, replicating the code should be way faster the second time around. Especially since I can just copy and paste most of it from my character. Okay, we got a background. What else do we need? I think that's it, right? That's the whole screen. No. So we need, let's create an empty, and then in this we call game stats UI, for instance. So this will just be like, you know, all the statistics that we want to keep or show, or whatever the case might be. And inside of this thing, we create UI elements. Ugh, this is going to be a pain in the ass. Wait, let's create more empties first. And the first one, we'll call this the headings or text or something like that. What did I call this? Buttons, stats, and in the stats. Oh, labels. Stats. Labels. And we duplicate that, and then we have the stats values. Version 5 after 4 months. He's like it. So you restart the whole project. You just scrap it and go again. Yeah, that's rough. If I did that, I wouldn't have been anywhere close to as far as I am with this game, that's for sure. Wait, what is this? Oh, wait, I don't want to change that. Do we want this in the middle of the screen? Yeah, probably. Put it in the middle. How big do we want this container to be for the stats itself? Like 500-ish and 1,000-ish. No, not 1,000. Oh yeah, it's 1080, right? So it's like 800 max. Okay, so that could be fine. We have the night stats UI, so we have the labels, the values. Okay, so the labels, let's see. We want them to stick to that side. Okay. The values, we want them to stick to that side. Okay. Now, if we make this 0, 0, and this 0, 0, so they sit where I want them to sit. Okay. No, that makes sense. Yeah, I started this project in Unity 6, I think. Yeah. Yeah. I'm currently of the opinion that I do know of better ways to do things. I believe that I would be able to refactor them at a later stage though. So that's what I'm going to say to myself. I'm going to just tell myself, look, there's a better way. I could always change this later. And it might never happen, but that's okay. It's more important that I make something that's kind of finished. I'm kind of wanting to get a demo out, you know, in a reasonable amount of time, so that I can at least have people play the game and, you know, I could have an idea whether it's even fun or not, right? That's something I'm kind of worried about. It's like you spend all the time on the game and then it's like, meh. Nobody's really interested in that type of game. Okay, so now we need a bunch of text. So this would be, let's call it lizard kills a label. And then we duplicate this a couple of times, and it's going to be called lizard kill label. It's going to be called... No, wait. Let's fix it first before I do this again. Yes, I do this every time. So the label, okay. First thing, I don't think I want width or height for the labels. I just want a position for them and make it 0. Right. Then, let's see, I want to change the text. That's okay. Make it center, no wrap. Is it more frustrating to work with the current script or to refactor it? Yeah. And if it's to... You see, the other thing is... code is only seen realistically by one person. And that's you. And if you can live with it, it's not getting refactored. If it breaks the game, yes, fix it. But if it works, I am of the opinion you just let it work. Don't interfere with something that works, especially if you want to get to the end goal one day. I've heard, I haven't really seen this. Yeah, I guess it's not always the case. I'm here on Twitch showing everybody how badly I code. But I mean, I've heard of stories of games that were made that were super successful and all that stuff, and they were terrible in terms of the actual code base, right? Okay, lizard kills. So something like this, and then we should just check, change the positioning, I guess. That's the only other thing. But I kind of like this. I think I like this. Okay, so let's put a new text mesh element here. Lizard kill count. Okay, and this one. Okay, we also want it there. Like that. No wrap. No, none of this stuff. Position 0. Wait. Why did it now go down there? What am I missing? Oh, it needs to be centered like that. No wrap, yeah. Yeah, hacked together. It's exactly what I'm doing. And also, if you look, if you look at my file structure and stuff, or even my hierarchy, it's a nightmare, right? Like, any sane person would probably have gone here and be like, no way, this is going to work for me. I need to make little headings and put things in headings. And, you know, my folders just kind of exploded at some point, and I don't know. I don't want to go and fix it. That's annoying. It's annoying to fix my folder structure. So, you know, there's a search bar for a reason. There's even a search bar in the hierarchy. You know? So I'll make use of that. Okay, so let's say we killed 500 lizards. And we put this in bold as well? Yeah, I think so. Okay. So maybe we have it like... okay, see, if I do it like that, I'd have to do it like this also. Okay, so any idea why these are not lining up right now? The pivots are the same. Well, the pivots are sort of the same. What is the text size here? It's 36. 40. Okay, let's make this 40 as well. They should look like they line up perfectly. Yeah. And then maybe we just put a space here. Oh no, it doesn't register spaces. Okay. That's a problem. So let's just change the X position a little bit. Yeah, -10. I feel like that seems good. Maybe we change the text color here. Oh, jeez. Somebody's going to have to come and redo my UI later. It's not going to be me. Okay, there's something. Lizard kills 500. Okay, maybe we split the difference here. So we do this one. Oh, actually, let's just make it 0. And then we just change this width to 245. And this width to 245. And that should give me nicely spaced stuff. Is this the middle of the screen? Why does this look like not the middle of the screen? The line might be in the middle, but obviously this is now way more to the side. Yeah. That is not... So this is technically splitting it down the middle exactly. But since it's a large word and a small word, looks kind of bad. So what if I do this instead? So I separate them. Oh wait, so how's this working now? Oh, okay. Somehow that's not what I thought would happen. Oh, okay, it's this. Yeah. So we do something like that. So now it looks a little bit more balanced, I guess. Technically. Then what do I do? Do I just make this thing smaller? So that's now the middle. Let's try it. Okay, let's try it. So let's so we want to duplicate this thing a couple of times, and the first thing would be, okay, so we have lizard kills, frog kills, and this would be totem. Totems. Totem kills labels. Labeler. Okay, then we duplicate the count, and it would be... Ah, jeez. Come on. Hello. Frog kill count. Totem kill count. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so we should rename those frog kills. And this one, maybe we rename this one totems destroy. Yada. Okay, and then we just need to move them down. So position Y. So let's see what looks kind of good. Oh no, totems destroyed is a massive word. This is going to break everything. So we do -40, I guess, spacing. -80. It doesn't have to be that tight, right? 50 and 100. It's a bit better. Okay, then our kill count. So -50 and -100. Okay. Nice. That looks terrible again. Yeah, so I kind of want these to be arranged like this, right? Maybe I want that. Like this? Does that still leave them kind of in the middle? Let's see. It might be a little bit lopsided, I think, but that looks okay. Yeah, this is good enough, right? This is just some UI for me to feel better about myself. I'm not going to worry about it too much. Okay, so let's get this one duplicated, and this would be crocodile kills. Okay, so this is now crocodile kills negative 150, I guess. Yeah, and then oh geez. Crocodile. What else can we kill? Oh wait, we could have just the number of waves survived actually. So let's do that one first. So we put that here, and then this will be waves. Or levels. Let's just call it waves. Waves for now. It's going to be levels of some kind, right? Because you're climbing some tower that's magical and mystical and all that good stuff. But for now, it's waves. Because that's just what it is. Waves survived. You are surprised I'm not using a layout group. I've never heard of such a thing. What is a layout group? Are you telling me there's a way to easily change these things? Oh wait, I did do this in a better way with my character stats already. For spacing and things. Okay. What is it? Is it a type of UI element? So if I click here, do I create new UI? Layout group? I can't find it. It doesn't exist. There's no layout group here. What are you talking about? Oh yes, I heard about this actually. I think I've done this in a tutorial. Grid layout group, horizontal grid, vertical. So if I added that, oh my word. So the position is now not controlled by the... Oh, crying out loud. I've been struggling with this for no reason, apparently. Okay, so if I... Ah, cool. So I could do like middle center. Ah, for crying out loud. This is so much better. Middle right. This is so much better. And then I could add pay. I can do spacing, padding, all that good stuff. So, and if I just change the height, it'll automatically... Wow. 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 Okay. At least that wasn't such a bad thing to add, right? I literally just clicked it and it worked. Okay, wait. So actually I should add to this thing a horizontal layout group. That might have been a wrong idea. Maybe. Perhaps? Actually, don't know. Yeah, I have two groups here. They should be more horizontally aligned. Okay, let's see if we duplicate these. So is that now the same amount? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so that's the same amount. I go here and I make this middle center, middle left. Okay, I'm a bit confused as to what it considers left. Oh wait, my text is still a problem, right? My text should also know where to go. Yeah. Okay, yeah, no, it is definitely the text that's a problem. So if I make the text all left aligned, for instance, then I can make middle left, for instance, and it's... Look at that! Expand options. What do you mean? It's add another component. Okay, how does this thing work? So I make spacing. Okay. I see. Okay, but... Okay, so wait a minute. Okay, if I now... Do I have the same problem again? Oh, I know what you mean with expand options. You mean that since these things have now gotten bigger, the words, I should, is that what you mean? I should have these, for instance, like the wave sizes. I should make its size expand with the text. I think that's what you mean. So no wrap. Okay, but how the hell? Okay, so maybe I just make the 0 and I make the wrapping not work. Toggles for child force expand and control child size. You can adjust how it behaves, basically. So that's here. Oh, use, is it this one? The use child scale and width and height, for instance. Control child size. Okay. If I just make this thing actually that size. Oh wait, but this won't work. So yeah, if I did that, and I go here now, and I say use child scale. Ah, that's good. That's good. Now it's centered. Now it stays centered. So well, it looks centered. I think it stays centered. So maybe I just have to make... Yeah, okay, so if I make these labels, these boxes the right sizes, like this, say that's the maximum size there, more or less. Okay, that doesn't look right. Middle left. Now make this one that size. Now, this would keep things sort of aligned? No. Why is the sun not moving anymore? Okay, that's fine. Let's finish this UI. I can always play with this later. Okay, so let's put this one on top, and let's call this waves. Wave count. Why not? Wave count. Okay, and then we have totem, and then lastly we have crocodile kill count. Okay, so those are the basic things we want, right, within our game stats. We should also maybe have a something like a title, maybe game over or something. So, just a text mesh pro thing. Okay, so let's see now. Ooh, okay. I see this is a problem. So yeah, since it's inside the game stats, I need to put this outside. Right, and what I can do... Okay, so I can add these groups now to like all the things in this. Okay, I see. Okay, but for this one, it's not that important. We just know it needs to be there. It needs to be in the middle, basically. And we want to do a centered thing. And let's use our other font. I lost it. Okay, so this is the game over heading. Okay, and we just say here, game over. Something like that. We increase the font size. We also change the wrapping to be none. And we maybe make it in the center there. Yeah, we can always move this up, right? Yeah. Yeah. So now that I have that there, this should be like here. Like that for it to be in the center, I think. Okay, wave survived, lizard kills, frog kills, totems destroyed, crocodile kills. Now I can obviously expand on this if I want to in the future. But for now, this looks fine. Why does everything look off-center? That's in 0. Let's see. This is at 0. This is at 0. Maybe I'm just crazy. Okay. Might be these grids. I think the grids are playing with my head. Okay. And now we just want 2 buttons, I guess, right? Yeah, so let's create an empty, and let's just call this game over buttons. Okay, and the these things you should be able to do is just quit, or, well, go to the main menu or restart, right? So button 1, menu, button, and let's duplicate that, restart, button. Okay, there they are in all their glory. So now if I add here a layout group, like horizontal, look at that. Okay, that's cool. I like that. And I can make it middle center. Oh. So if I do force child expand, for instance, and I make... Okay, the childs are not expanding. Okay, let's see. How big do we want these buttons? Like 250 by 50. I guess that looks about fine. 250 by 50. Yeah, I like that. Okay, if I make this thing like 600 wide. Yeah. Okay, cool. And we can move it down a bit, I guess. Okay, great. So let's just change this to main menu. Let's make it all caps, increase the font size a smidge. Yeah, like this. Okay, 35, that looks good. And can we just make the text black and bold? There we go, main menu. Okay, and then this one, we basically want to just copy component into this one. And we change this to restart. Hey, this guy, New Zealand. NZ. I'm good, thanks. And you? I've been getting some free bug fixing consultations from chat this morning, which is kind of nice, I won't lie. Addressable and server loading saving. You know, all those words that you just used make me anxious. I don't know what any of that means. You know what I want to do eventually with this game? It'd be kind of cool. Is if I made it a multiplayer game. I think it'd be kind of cool. I think the whole idea with the multiple characters, you know, you fighting as a party, climbing this tower, whatever. I mean, if a single person can have multiple players, you might just, well, multiple characters, you might as well just have two people playing. Controlling two characters at a time, so then the levels would have to be rebalanced for that, I guess, to make it more difficult. But I think it would be kind of fun. And then I would also have to figure out how to do server-related things, because multiplayer, I guess, is a bit more complicated. It's a problem for future me. Future me will figure that out. I have full confidence that whoever I become in the future is going to be completely capable of doing that stuff. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like an obvious way to go, if you think about it. Since I am doing a lot of roguelikes, I guess, have you play as your character, and that's kind of it. Nothing else happens, ever. There's no well, there are some multiplayer or co-op roguelikes, I guess. But normally you select, like if I just think about Vampire Survivors, you select a character and you play. In this game, you select a party of characters and you play. So you might as well select a party and then have two people, one controlling the knight, one controlling the ranger, or something like that. I feel like it's an obvious, it feels like an obvious next step once I get the game to work properly. Yeah, future me is always going to be better. Well, you can't really make that assumption, right? Sometimes we go backwards. Like you know who could do a lot of pull-ups? Past me. You know who can't do a lot of pull-ups? Present me. Future me might be able to do even less if I'm not careful. Okay, this looks kind of cool. It doesn't work at all, but I think that's pretty much everything I need, right, in a game over screen. Okay. I think I should have... So these main menu and restart buttons, right? They exist in a couple of places. Let's see. So if I open the character select menu, we also have a main menu and a restart button. And I have this over here, this script. Change scene buttons. So maybe what I should do is I should just create an empty here and make this change scene buttons. Okay, so hear me out. This is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to do something like this. We'll call the first one select character main menu. And then we have a game over main. So this is the way I think this works, but there's probably a better way. And then we have a select character restart. And then we have a game over restart. Right, so we have all these buttons. And now we just need to add listeners to each of them. And we basically do the same thing. Right? You should do multiplayer from the beginning, you say? The beginning was a while ago. So yeah, I might have a tough time there. It's not impossible, right? Let me just make sure. It should still be possible, right? I hope so. I might do what you do and just rebuild the game from scratch with multiplayer. Right? That would be the best way of doing it, I suppose. Like once I have it working and it's kind of nice. You know what I'll do? Here's my grand strategy, guys. Okay, let me tell you what my grand strategy is. I make this game single player. It works nice. I make a nice demo, maybe a little early access stuff, whatever. I put it on Kickstarter and I make a stretch goal to say I'll make the game multiplayer. And I make it like $1 million, right? And if I get $1 million, I could quit my job and restart the game from scratch, making it multiplayer. That sounds reasonable, right? That's totally doable. And I think that's the best way of going about this. Yeah, foolproof plan, right? This is a foolproof plan. There's no way this can go wrong. There's no way I put this on Kickstarter and I get 0 money. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes, I guess. Okay, so there's probably a better way of doing this as well. I say that for a lot of things these days. Okay, let's do this at least. Private void. Go to main menu. And then we have private void restart game. No. Restart game. And then we put the loader stuff for restarting there. And we put the loader stuff for main menu there. Great stuff. And then we basically just add these on-click events. All the listeners, so we connect them all. Can I do this in a single line? I think I can. I think I'm gonna. It's gonna look so streamlined. So we just run for main menu, we run this function then, right? Go to main menu. Okay, then we do that for the main menu, and we do this for the others. So we have the restart one. Oh wait, what am I doing? Game over, the main menu stuff, and then restart over there. And instead of that one, so these two are restart, those are main menus. Yeah. Now I just need to go find all those buttons. And I can add more buttons if I so choose, I guess. Okay, so that should be fine. And this just still takes a while. It's way faster, right? It's definitely faster. Okay. So the change scene buttons one, I think I'm going to remove that from there. And I'll just do it there. Yeah. Okay. So we have the restart button for the character select menu. You go over there. Main menu. You go over there. And then, okay, so that's for that one. And then the restart button. Main menu button for game over. You go over there. A restart button for game over. You go over there. Look at this consistent naming, eh? Don't you just love that? Cheers, Vice Gaming TV. Have a good one, eh? Have a good sleep. I guess I'm just guessing. I don't remember who's from where. But I'm guessing you are from the Western Hemisphere, where it's currently midnight or something. Yeah, I guessed it. Go to bed, man. What are you doing? You need to be up in like 3 hours. No, that's my schedule. Only my schedule is that dumb. Yeah, okay. Okay, so all my buttons are connected. I have no way of showing the screen though. Hey, you think I should do the Kickstarter? If I make no money, it's also fine. I guess. I actually have no idea how Kickstarter works. You know, for all I know, it's actually not even possible for a South African to make a Kickstarter. You know? I've had experiences like that before where, you know, you hear of some cool thing that the people in the United States and Europe are doing, and then you're like, oh, that's so nice, let me do that. Oh, sorry, you can't actually do that. There's no payment gateway that supports South Africa. Sorry for you. What did I have that problem with recently? I think it's PayPal. I think PayPal is a problem. It's a very awkward way. There's some super awkward ways you can get money from PayPal. But yeah, it's a pain in the ass. Am I South African? I am a South African in South Africa, yes. Koi. Oh. Does somebody want to write the code to connect all this stuff together now? I don't feel like it. Okay, let's see. Okay, so when does this happen? Oh, Shona. Yeah, I think that's the official language, right, in Zimbabwe. One of the official languages. I think it's actually one of the most spoken languages in Zimbabwe, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I know a few people from there. There are a lot of Zimbabweans in South Africa, actually. English, the primary language in South Africa, I would say it's the primary language of doing business. We have 12 official languages. English is the primary language for doing business. And then, you know, I think Afrikaans is very close second. Because a lot of businesses... Man, there's a lot of people that speak Afrikaans, so you just kind of speak Afrikaans as well. I guess it depends, right? I feel like it's also the second official language for business. It's not really, but it feels to me like it is because I'm Afrikaans. So I like to speak in Afrikaans when I can. So if I find somebody that speaks it, I speak it. Otherwise, everybody speaks English because nobody else, you don't understand each other. Unless you know like 6 languages, then you have a good chance. But most of the time, we know our own language and English. That's like the second language is English for almost everybody in the country. Okay, so let's make this screen appear. Right, so the first thing, when the game starts, it should probably not exist. And then later it should exist, right? Okay, so on game start, it will be invisible. So where would be a good place to show this? Probably in the game manager, right? Where else am I going to show this? Let's be honest. Game manager is the place to do all this stuff. All the other UI is connected here already. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, okay. So let's just add that with a good old copy paste because I'm too lazy to type. So this would not be game playing. This would be game over UI. Okay. So we can connect that a bit later. So let's think about this. So does the game manager at any time know okay, so it basically just shows UI. Okay. So who would know if my characters are all dead or not? I don't think I keep track of that, to be honest. Yeah. I think the player manager might be the best place to go, since we have the character stats here, and the character stats do in fact have a boolean that says I'm dead or not, right? So that would be a good place to just like it. I think the temperature just dropped like an extra 10 degrees outside, because I'm freezing now all of a sudden. Okay, let's see. So we're applying stats, doing all kinds of nice things. Okay, let's go to our character stats scriptable object and let's just see what we do when we die. Okay, so we have this actually. No, this is level up. Sorry, I'm dumb. Dead. So when the death value changes, right, we do invoke this over here. 6 references. Let's see who listens to this. So the game manager on character death. Oh, right here. I was literally there. Okay, so on character death. So we get information from our scriptable objects that a character has died, right? So we just need to make sure whether or not the other characters are still alive or not, I guess. Right, so we could say okay, so this event is just purely doing a show character select UI. Okay, so we could actually do something like show character select UI if all the characters are not dead, right? So since we are here, we should be able to do something like this. If night stats, come on, the night stats are here. Oh wait, no wait. Let me just see. Okay, so we have the on character death from player manager. We don't actually have the night stats here at all. Okay. Then we connect them here, just the character death. So the player manager should actually be the one to know whether or not all the characters are still alive or not. Okay. So let's do that. Player manager. You'll get another function here. Public void are any characters still alive? I guess, are any characters still alive? This should return a boolean, right? Are any characters still alive? True if yes, false if no. Right, so when we call this, we basically say if night stats dot is dead. Okay, So let's see. What is the clever way of doing this? Knight stats dot is dead. If the knight is not dead, then we return true. Else, if the ranger stats is, so the ranger is not dead, we return true. Else, this is terrible. I don't like what I'm doing right now, but I'm just going to continue with it. Wizard stats is dead. We return true. Okay. Oh, come on. True. Okay. And then else return false. Okay. So, I mean, this is not elegant, right? I didn't claim that this was elegant at all. This is uneloquent. This is anti-eloquent. Okay, so basically, we ask this question, and effectively, I just want this function to go through all the scriptable objects and just check if this is toggled true or false. Okay, so effectively, if is dead is true, that means this returns false, so we return true over there. I can already tell that there's a better way of doing this, but I'm not quite sure how to do that. Not exactly sure. So I'll just leave it like this, more or less. Okay, so we could just return. You know, if I had these scriptable objects in a list of some kind, I could just loop through them and just return is dead, for instance. Maybe. Okay, but this will work for now. So basically, we're just going to go through this and check if this guy is dead. So that's true. Then this is false. We skip. We check, is this guy dead? Yes. We check if this guy is dead. No. So somebody is still alive. So we return true. Okay. A party script. You know, I should probably do that. You're right. Because I want to have more characters at some point, and I want you to be able to select the 4 characters, let's say, that you're going to be climbing your the tower with, right? So I should have a way of making that scriptable object. Yeah. So I guess I could do... Let's do that. I'm going to do that. Going to make the scriptable object that has the party details, but I'll just kind of hard code some of it now, and then later we can add the UI to select the characters that you want to play with. That sounds reasonable. Let's do that. I like that idea. That's such a nice idea. So let's go to scriptable objects. No, let's wait for the thing to load. Okay, so in scripts, I should have a folder called scriptable objects that I didn't click on. So we add a new create as script, right? Scripting. Scriptable object script. And we can call this party members SO. Right? And all it really needs to have is a public. Will this be a list of what? Scriptable object, right? It'll be a list of public app. I need to give this thing a name. Something like this. So we have a character stats scriptable object array or list. Or I don't know what that is. I think it's an array. And then there's a party members SO. And then I can loop through this. So for now, what we can do is we can save this. Right? We save that. And then I can create the scriptable object itself. Do I need to create it? I don't think I do. I don't think I do. So I could just go into the player manager, I guess, and then we do this. We can do a public party members scriptable object, and I don't know, just part members SO, I guess. And then I can instantiate a new one and add my 3 scriptable objects. So I could do party members SO is equal to scriptable object.instantiate. Oh wait, do I need to plug it in like this? Or can I just instantiate a blank one? Oh, then I do a new scriptable object, right? New party members SO. That's how I make a blank one. It doesn't like this. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yes, it needs a list. No, wait, what does it need? Or do I just add this? Ah, okay. I just add the brackets. Cool. So now I've created the party members. So it's a new one. And then I can do party member SO dot so that's a dot length, but I just want to add. Okay, now I don't know how to add things to a list. How do I add things to a list? Oh wait, this is an array, not a list. Isn't there a problem with this? I think I need to make it a list, right? Because if it's an array, I need to tell it how long it will be. I don't know. Dot length. So it is an array. Append. Oh. Not append. Okay, how does this work? How do I append stuff? Dot append a character stats SO. So wait, if I do this, dot append night stats. Does that work? No way that works, right? No. No overload method append takes 0 arguments. What? Is it add? Oh, okay. Add, then brackets, and then I add. Does not create a definition for add, and no accessible extension method add, except in the first argument. It's an array. That's why I thought I should make it a list, to be honest with you. Party members SO is a array. How do I make it a list? Is it the curly brackets? Whoops. Nah, I can't remember. I had the same problem the other day. Make it a list, lol. Oh, yes. Now I remember. So it's a list of this, right? Didn't like that either. Is it a small list? Ah, for crying out loud. Let's see. Public list. Yeah. So that is right. So it is a list, and then of type character stats scriptable objects. That's what I want to put in there. Didn't I just do that? I'm pretty sure I literally just did that. That's annoying. Okay, cool, but there it goes, right? Import system.generic. Oh, okay, yes. When I did that, it actually automatically imported that. I see. Okay. Nice. Nice. Okay, now we can go to the player manager again. And now adding night stats works. Can I just add... Can I just do this? Add... And then do ranger stats? Ranger stats. And add wizard stats. Is that a thing? No. Damn it. Can I add a list to this thing? Wait, who's yelling at me? Just add new. I'm not sure why. Okay, let's read this. Okay. These scriptable objects exist, yeah. So these ones over here, that's fine. Then I have the party member scriptable object, which I just did that, and now I just want to create a new one, right? So it doesn't actually exist. There is no such scriptable object. This is the first one I make. You should use scriptable object.create instance. You mean like this? Script object.create instance. Oh. Okay. So we create an instance of that. It's similar to how we instantiate these ones, right? But they already existed, so yeah. Okay. And then I can just add to it, add to that list inside there. Can we add multiple things to a list? Oh, it doesn't make it in the project. So I need to do the new instead. I need a new party member scriptable object and like that. So I create a new scriptable object that's empty, doesn't contain anything, and then I add to it my characters. New won't work, but there's no errors in Unity, man. Come on. Why? This thing should throw an error at my face if this doesn't work that way. So you need to instantiate them somehow. So what you're saying is, this works. I can copy them, and then I can edit them, right? So what I should do is, in my scriptable objects folder, I should just create one that's blank or whatever, right? That doesn't have anything. And then I can use the instantiate thing. So I can just create scriptable object, call it party members SO, just like that, and that's literally what it is. And I just leave it empty for now. Okay, empty list. Great stuff. And then what I could do is, in the player manager, I do this type of thing, where I have the party members SO in there, and then in the public one I have that. And then what I do over here is I do party members equals scriptable object instantiate party members SO. I could just drag the other stuff into it, yes. But I don't want to. So I want to eventually have a menu where you select from like 20 different characters your party. Right. And then it should assign the 4 characters that you selected to this scriptable object, I think. And then I will work with this going forward. So maybe all of this stuff won't be necessary, in fact, I don't think. But for now it is necessary. The only reason I have this right now is so that I can have something that I can cycle through that list, right? To check if everybody is dead. But yeah, I could technically just use a C# script for that as well. Okay, I'll be right back. We need to go use the restroom quickly. Let's put that thing there. Okay, 1 minute. I'm back. Okay, so what I'm thinking is I'm using the scriptable object completely incorrectly. And it's not actually required at all. Right? Because currently, I could just make a list. I could just make a list of the characters. Right? I'm thinking about, this party selection screen and how that would work. So you'd click on an icon, for instance, of a character, and it will add the scriptable object of that character to the party member's scriptable object. And then in here, instead of having all of this in the player, I just have this, and then I can access all the various characters' scriptable objects using this instead. But that could also just be a list that is populated when I click the buttons. I don't need to add them to a scriptable object when I click that button. I can just add them to a list in a script somewhere. Yeah. So right now, all I really need is just let's call it a hide and inspector public list. There we go. A list of party members. And then over here, all I need to do is maybe just add, so party members. Do I need to make a new list? Is that how that works? So just doing this doesn't make it a new list, I guess. I need to still create the list. So we create the list. And then we do party members dot add night stats, and then we do party what the hell? Party members dot add, and this should be done differently, I guess, but no, wizard stats. What am I doing? This should be ranger stats. So now in the list there will be these three scriptable object references, right? I mean, and that's fine. And then down here, are any characters still alive? Do I have buttons for each character? I don't. No, the menu doesn't exist yet. I'm trying to build in functionality before it's needed, which is probably part of my problem right now. Yeah, I thought I'd get ahead of myself, you know what I mean? We were like thinking about how this could be more elegant, and then we're like, yeah, we should have a scriptable object that tells us which characters are in our party. And that sounded like a good idea, because eventually, I don't know. Okay, but all this works. I can't even remember why we went down this rabbit hole. Okay, but anyway, now I have a list of party members that I'm not going to use for now. Oh yes, I wanted to go into the game manager, and when somebody died, we need to decide whether or not we want to show this UI or some other UI. Okay. So let's see. So we can do if, and then we can do player, not animator, manager, dot instance dot, or any character still alive. Right. So if any characters are still alive, we can show this UI. So basically, when somebody dies, we first check, okay, look, is everybody dead now? Or if anybody is still alive, we can select a new character, right? So we can show character select UI. And then else, so if this returns true, we do that. Else, we want to show the game over UI. So currently, I don't think I have a function for that. No. There's no show game over UI function. Okay. So let's make that private. Void show game over UI. And you would just do that, show game over UI. The health is in a scriptable object right now. It felt like the right thing to do. Turns out it's not. I already had a bunch of bugs that me and Gavarian fixed this morning due to that. So I didn't change the architecture, like go from scriptable objects to just normal scripts. We kept the scriptable object thing, we just made it work. Yes, I am aware of that. That's the bug that we were fighting this morning. Yeah, so if you go to the player manager, which is the main one that is the problem. Right, if you go here, this is why this exists now. So now I have my scriptable object that I manipulate in the editor. And then we have another one, and we instantiate. So we basically copy the one from the editor and make a new one. And then the new one is what we work with. And we do this every time the player manager gets created, right? So when the player manager gets created, it copies the original scriptable objects and adds, and then we work with them going forward. Is that the best? Yes, because it works. Alright, let's see. It fixed all my problems. So, it's the best. Okay, so what do we want to do with show game over UI? So the first thing, I think, is we want to... Let's see... Gameplay UI, we want to set that to false. Okay, then game, game over. Wait, game over UI, set active to true. Yeah, we probably want to toggle pause. Right. That's all I really think I should do, right? Yeah. So here we decide whether or not we can show this UI or this UI. So we toggle pause over here. Okay, and then we should obviously... okay, so this will at least make it appear. It doesn't mean that any of the values will be correct yet. Okay, so let's just see if my game manager has reference to this UI. That does not. Okay, game over UI, you go in there. And I think you want to be not a thing. So let's go to Game Manager maybe to do that. Yeah. So on start, the Game Manager should just set you to false. Right? Don't want a game over UI showing at the start. Okay, cool. That should at least work. So let's see if we can't have that happen quickly. How's it 6:32 already? Gonna have to go to work soon. Okay, so it's character scriptable objects. So here I can just set their health to like 20. Let's just do that quickly. 20 HP. Let's play the game. Let's see if I die. I should die. Ugh. Music. Go away. Okay, so everybody has 20 HP right now, so I want all of them to be wiped out. So come, kill me. Okay, maybe I should have made it less. Okay, let's run towards the camp where more enemies are. Ah, the bomber will do it quick. Okay, so the chicken knight died. Good. This shows. So let's select the ranger now. The health was reset. I forgot that happens actually. Okay, kill me quickly. Okay, I died. And now the wizard. It's for science. Sick day, you think so? Yeah, that'd be nice. Look at that! It worked! It worked! Guys, we are all geniuses. Okay, now if I click restart. Okay, yeah, we come back to the screen. Okay, everybody's health is 20 because that's it. It copies that original scriptable object. Unfortunately. But there we go. The thing has been done successfully today. I don't know if you guys noticed, but the frogs got a new, got an upgrade. Actually, I think yesterday I was still using the ugly frogs. Now I'm using the uglier frogs. Okay, I'm just playing 20 music tracks over one another right now. They're not uglier in terms of... They just... And they got a bit of an update. They have now textured skin, and they got a little satchel, or whatever you call this, a backpack, with where they put their bombs in, obviously, right? That's where the bombs come from. Don't think about it too much. There's a million bombs in that thing. They can throw them endlessly. Yeah. So the frogs now look a little bit more menacing, perhaps. Okay, so our game over stuff works. Now we just need to change all the kill counts. So I guess, well, in the game manager, the enemy counter script is right here, right? So this is where we keep track of how many enemies we killed. This should be a scriptable object. If I'm gonna be consistent, I might as well be consistent, right? Oh, Mr. Human Limits, I didn't even see you came into the chat on YouTube. Sorry about that. How are you doing? Are you asking me to picture a crossbow plane? a plane made out of a giant crossbow. I mean, it's got some plane features. Or a minigun plane. Yeah, why not? I think we have planes that are close to being minigun planes already in reality. Okay, so what am I doing here? Okay, so I think what we need to do is we need to change all of this to a scriptable object. You cannot store a numerical value in a mono behavior script. We all know this by now. We need this to be a scriptable object. Right? How else can I store an integer? I think I misunderstand the way scriptable objects are being used, or supposed to be used. Definitely. I haven't quite wrapped my head around where they are better than mono behavior scripts quite yet. Okay, but anyway, so all the stats are here, right? So if I get to the end, I have the kill count for the lizards, the frogs, the totems, the crocodiles, and then in my game manager I would have hey Rustafunk Jr. Or is it Rustafunk JR? I don't know. It's probably Junior, right? So all the data is here and I'm updating it continuously. Now what I could do is just have a function. Wait, is this a singleton? Yes, it is, of course. So how do I want to do this? How do I want to do this? Do I want to do this in the game manager? I don't know. I think I should do this here. The enemy counter should update the UI text for the enemy counter. The game manager just shows different things, but this thing should update the text. Same as the progression manager, so the thing that tracks my current level and stuff like that. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Yes, that's a brilliant idea. So how the hell did I do this again? I think this is very tedious if I remember this correctly. Okay. Oh. This is the less tedious way of doing it. Okay, so I need to either add all the which I could do realistically. That's not so bad. Okay, let's see. So if I go over here, when I say, for instance, serialized field private TMP Pro Text Mesh Pro thing. Right, so this will be a Text Mesh Pro element and Raster works. Okay, fantastic. Messing around with some player spawn stuff. That sounds like a multiplayer problem. No, I spawn the players. Can I show you? Maybe you learn something. Let me show you how I spawn players. So you just go here to your prefab folder. Yeah, just wait for Unity to do its thing. Yeah, so you go to your prefab folder, if you have one like that. And then within that, if you've now also made everything nice and good here, you should have a player folder. I have a player characters folder. You click on the prefab for the player you want, and you drag him into the scene. You are welcome. I might have saved you a lot of time just now. This is now a spawned character for the player. Right? And if you want to despawn, you just delete. There we go. Like a charm, right? You don't have to overcomplicate things, eh? Nah, I did exactly like I think it was 2 days ago. I had to spawn in the camps for all the where the enemies come from. I could have dragged them in like that, but eventually this is kind of funny. So instead of dragging in the camps and then just hiding and showing them, what I thought would be way cooler and much more difficult to work with is to drag a bunch of positions for the camps to spawn in into my world, and then in a separate script just get those positions and put a camp there instead of just dragging the prefab into the world. And you see those circles? I was having a problem where I couldn't see the points. So I had to write a script to attach to each point to make a gizmo so that I know roughly how big the camp is so I don't overlap camps accidentally. I think it was kind of genius, don't you? Yeah. I could have just dragged in the camps because now I just have a folder here or an object with 20 positions where it could have just been an object with 20 camps. Because at the start of the game, I do spawn all the camps anyway. And then I just show or hide the camps depending on which one is supposed to be active at that point. It is working. And I was way too deep into the rabbit hole by the time I realized I could have done this way simpler. So yeah, this is what it is now. What was I doing? Oh yes, text mesh probe. So we can call this the lizard kill count UI. Okay, so we get this thing, and then I guess, when do we actually update this though? Every time we kill a lizard? That seems not required. Yeah, we can update this at the end, right? Oh, you're making things random. Procedurally generated. The cool kids call it, right? And I think, yeah, I was also thinking about that, but then I had the problem with, then I also have to check if they could overlap potentially. And then, it became, it's just, I gave up. I was like, nah, you know what? I still spawn them in randomly, but it's random into fixed locations. So it'll select positions at random, but the position itself is not random, it's predetermined. And technically, so there's 20 positions here right now, and technically the game ends at wave 10, which would mean 10 camps spawn. Yeah, okay, so you're doing both. Some things are incredibly random and some things are kind of random. Yeah, I guess that's a good balance, right? Yeah. So currently, if 10 camps spawn in these 20 positions, those 10 camps will never spawn in the same 10 positions, so it'll feel like it's a different level every time. Apart from the fact that everything else is in the same place, but that's another problem for another day. Okay. So let's go see. Okay, so the enemy counter, I think I should have a function here or something. That's called update, something like a public void update. Update game over UI stats Something like this. Okay. And then the first thing it should update for now would just be the lizard kill count UI dot text. Right. I seem to remember it's something like this. Yeah, okay, I don't need to get the component anymore. So I can just do string.format, right? And string.format. And let's just do work now. And what we put in here would basically just be the kill count, right? So the small melee enemy kill count. Right? So update game over stats UI. Okay, that's good. And then we go and do in the game manager, we need to call this, right? So the game manager, right when we want to show this UI, we need to go to the enemy counter instance dot update game over stats UI. Right, so we update the stats first, then we set it active, etc., etc. Okay. That's good. Let's see if we can get that to work. Running out of time here. Okay, I'm just going to take my scriptable objects for the characters and make their health less. So 20, 20, 20, so that even if they get healed, they don't get that much HP. And the lizards can kill them quickly. Okay, it smells like swamp. That's unfortunate. Okay, we should at least have one kill, right? The rest might be frogs, and I don't update the frog kills right now. Yeah, but the frogs will at least kill me quickly. Very interesting. Null reference exception error. Oh, you know what this is? Yeah, I didn't drag something in there. Something wasn't dragged in there. Is it here? Yes. Lizard kill count UI. It doesn't know anything about that. So game over stats, stat values, lizard kill count. Hello? TextMesh Pro. I'm pretty sure this is a TextMesh Pro. Did I do this incorrectly? Okay, should it be a different type of thing? Is it TextMesh Pro dot TextMesh dot text? Oh, I don't know. Dot TMP underscore text, maybe? Is that the right one? I don't know. Let's see if I can drag it in now. Okay, lizard kill count. Go there. Ah, there we go. That's it. I've done it. Okay, let's go see if I do not cause any weird errors. Okay, temperate, that's good. Okay, we've got one kill. Oh wait, they're coming from the top. Okay, one kill. 2, 3. Okay, let's stop there. Let's let them kill us. Okay. still only 3 kills, right? And now we shouldn't get a reference exception error. Guys, look at that. Game over. Lizard kills 3. I should maybe do something about the music when this happens, right? Something still feels a bit off, right? It's not centered the way it should be, is it? Yeah, something feels weird. Okay, but at least we know how many lizards we killed. Very good, very good. I'm happy. I'm a happy chappy. Okay, I think I'm just gonna save and get going, I guess. Can't make it a sick day. I think half of the people at work are already sick, so, you know. Okay, so my in-game menu, I don't think it's done. But it is definitely in progress. So we're not ticking it off right now. So let's go to our time tracker. I think I was tracking my time on UI stuff. Yeah. Stop. There we go. Okay. Let's see. There's 5 of you. You guys want to go raid somebody? Let's raid somebody. That's the right thing to do. Right? Okay, I have no idea. I see nobody I'm following is currently here. Oh no, there's one guy. It's not Unity dev, but it's a pretty cool game. So I think I'll send you over to... Wait, what happened? Where did it go? Imaginary Villain. He's making a pretty cool game, I think. Oh. Rastafunk is already in the chat there? Rasta? Well, that's interesting. That is interesting. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. I will see you tomorrow if you want to come by. I'll be around. Tomorrow I don't have work in the morning, so I might just stick around a bit later if things go well. So, yeah, enjoy the rest of your day, your evenings, your whatever you have left of your day. And I will see you guys next time. Let's start the raid. Oh, wait, I still need to click this button. And then people need to get ready, apparently. Okay, get ready, guys. So I can raid. Cheers, eh? Have a good one. There we go. And raiding now. There we go. Cheers, 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 cheers. And I want to do for the YouTube guys, thank you so much for watching us. Let's do the ending screen. There we go. Thank you so much.